Johnny Boy at Fight Hype. I'm here with the young sensation Keith Tsunami Cologne, who'll be fighting on October 18th at the Barclays on the undercard for Danny Garcia versus Danny Gonzalez. Man, talk to me. How excited are you about fighting at the Barclays?
I'm super excited. I feel like the Barclays is one of the biggest arenas in boxing, and it's almost like it's just like another milestone in my career, another stepping stone. And it shows that I'm going in the right direction, so I'm excited.
Absolutely. Now you be facing an undefeated fighter. Talk to me about that fighter. What are some of the things, some of the problems that he could bring you in the ring?
Well, first of all, he undefeated. You feel me? So I feel like with another undefeated fighter, nobody wants to like lose. Nobody wants to have that feeling. So I feel as though he's gonna be coming out there the whole fight and trying to win all the way up into the last round. So that's for me, that's the biggest thing is he never felt defeat before, and he's gonna try everything to be victorious that night. But he a tricky fighter. He got a lot of different things in his arsenal, different tools, but it's just my job to exploit it and do what I do best.
Absolutely. And so you've been studying tape on him and you doing your homework.
Uh, not crazy, not too much. I seen, when they presented me to him, I seen it, I said, yeah, I'll take it. That was that. And but like it's probably saw like one round, nothing too crazy. I feel as though the people that I've been sparring, if I'm able to figure them out, if I'm able to, find little things, come fight night, is nothing that should be able to surprise me. So I'm a firm believer in hard work and then just focusing on myself to be best prepared that night.
Definitely, this will be a big stage at the Barclays. There'll be a lot of people being there for for Danny Garcia. His farewell fight. Does that put a lot of pressure on you with the crowd, or did you thrive with more people in attendance?
Nah, like I haven't thought about that at all yet, but I feel as though it'll probably hit me, once I'm there, once people see me or once I come out for the walkout, it'll probably hit me then. But once I get in the ring, is tunnel vision, is at the end of the day, none of that matters. It's me, the opponent, and I just gotta stay calm, relax, and just, remember what got me there.
Exactly. What's the statement you're trying to make at the Barclays?
Uh Statement I'm trying to make is of course I want to have the best fight of the night. I feel as though that's that's something that I always try to push myself to do, just stand out. Not I'm sorry, not have the best fight of the night, but just to stand out. Be find a way for people to remember you. Like, dang, I remember I saw that kid. I remember this, I remember that. So, we got a lot of things cooking up. It's the entertainment business, so we trying to make it as exciting as possible for the fans. But ultimately, just get the victory.
Definitely, definitely. Switching gears real quickly, we wish you all the best of luck October 18th. But
Thank you.
I saw you with Jake Paul, passing out. You give guys giving out shoe giveaway and everything. Give me some of the details. How did that come about?
Yeah, shout out to my guy, Footwork. He had the whole thing set up. It just happened to be that, you know, like we got the same sponsor, so to say, or like my sponsor just like it was a part of the giveaway with him, and so it was like, oh, why not just bring keep along, you feel what I'm saying? So it just made sense. Um, and plus, like it's not a lot of people that's really like accessible. It's not a lot of people that's reachable that you could touch. So I'm one of those people that I'm always, anytime it was for like any event, anything as far as like any community events, anything with the kids, I always was the advocate for. I always like, yeah, not only is it something that I do, but it's something that I want to do. It's something that, I got videos that I didn't even release, but like I was over there like playing with the kids, teaching them how to jump rope before anybody came in. You get what I'm saying? So it's just for me, it's deeper than just the shoe giveaway. It's just being able to be there and interacting with the kids and showing them that yeah, I'm here, but like I'm still human. Like we still the same, whether I'm 23 and you 7, 8, 9, 10, like we still the same. We still do the same thing. So that's my that's what I like to do, behind the scenes.
Definitely. And what was Jake Paul like personally? And any rumors you signing with MVP or anything like that?
Nah, there's no rumors I'm signing with MVP. Jake Paul, he was cool though. He was cool, cool people's down to earth. He funny too, you know what I'm saying? He told one of the little babies, he was like, "Dang, you taller than Javante." So, so I was that was funny, but nah, yeah, he a cool guy, man. He was cool. He's not like, some people would think that, he might come off standoffish or whatever the case might be, but not at all. He was real accepting. And plus, it's a lot of little kids, so people can have or feel certain types of way like, oh nah, but he was real cool about it.
And definitely, you spoke about Javante. Talking about that fight. What were your initial thoughts when you heard that they were going to fight each other?
Uh I was surprised. I was surprised that, that fight came about. But at the same time, like I said, it's like how I get it's entertainment business, it's like these fights, these fights is what kind of I don't want to say keep boxing alive, but keep boxing alive to, the audience that just understands the entertainment where they was like, oh, you gotta fight for your respect or fight for this. So this fight I feel like it's great for boxing. You got a well established fighter that has great skill, and now you have a well established um fighter that just have crazy height and bring a great crowd, and I feel as though it's going to clash to be something great. I feel like this great, this good for boxing.
Definitely. Who wins that fight? How does this fight play out? Do you think it's going to be an exhibition or that they really don't like each other? If you watch the press conferences, they're going at each other, cursing each other out. It doesn't look like it's a fake.
I feel as though, well, it is an exhibition, so I don't think anybody will I don't think it'd be like a winner or a loser. But I feel as though like both will have something to prove. Jake Paul, I feel as though he gonna go in. It's not like a Mike Tyson. It's like, all right, we share the ring. I pay my respects to you. Like you was one of the greats, and I'm giving you an opportunity. I feel like this is this is one of those fights where it's like, all right, it's an exhibition, but I want to prove something. I want to prove that I could hang in there with the fights, and then Tank probably gonna be like, I could prove that you could probably hang in here because you're big, but I'm gonna dominate you the entire time. I'm gonna do what I want. So I feel like that right there is gonna be the like the tail of the fight.
You think Javante could get a knockout?
Can Javante get a knockout? It's possible. It's possible that he could get a knockout. However, at the end of the day, it's boxing. Jake Paul, he's not the Jake Paul that he was 2 years ago. He's more established. He's developed. He's kind of getting a good sense of boxing. He also got, he keep a good team around him. So, you know, a smart Javante not just gonna run in there just looking for a knockout, and but anything is possible. Anything is possible. Plus, this guy, he's like what, 200 pounds, so it's that'd be real hard. The chances would be slim.
Definitely. Where do you think Jake Paul should go after this, and where does Javante go after this?
I feel as though Jake Paul should continue the narrative, continue to call out the big names in boxing, keep calling out the Canelos, but ultimately just work his way up the ladder, just because that's how he's gonna that's how he's gonna grow in the sport, even though these fighters may not be as great as Canelo, that's the big fight that he want, but they'll teach him something to prepare him for Canelo, so that's how he get his experience along the way.
Definitely. But what about Javante? Where should he go? Shakur Stevenson is supposed to be facing Teofimo Lopez in early next year. Do you think maybe he could fight the winner of that fight?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that'd be a great fight. Javante, both would be great fights. Javante T.O., Javante Shakur, those would be great fights. Uh, Even a rematch with Roach, I feel that also be a great fight. Um, but I feel as though with Javante, he could choose whatever he want to do, So it's really in his hands on who he fight and when he fight him.
I mean, how do you see that fight playing out between Shakur and Teofimo Lopez? Tio with the athleticism, Shakur with the defense. You've been in the ring with Shakur. You know him a lot better than most people. What do you think? How did that fight play out?
I feel like this fight, honestly, it's going to be a better fight than the Zepeda versus Shakur fight because Zepeda got great skill, great output. However, Teofimo got more of an explosion type style than Zepeda. So this right here to play for a more entertaining fight, because he's gonna try. Yeah, I believe it's gonna be a boxing exhibition, a boxing match where it's gonna be skill for skill. But then there's gonna be a point in time where Tio gonna take chances, leap in, try different things, and Shakur, he known for his great defense, always being on point, but we all human. We all make mistakes. We all fall asleep at times, such as, just have a little hiccup. So it'll be interesting to see like, how that fight play out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, Shakur, he's undefeated, so he'll probably be the favorite going into this matchup. Tio has that look,
Yeah.
you know. But what do you think it would be? 60-40, 55-45?
Truthfully, I feel as though Shakur gonna be a favorite by a wide margin. So I'd say like 60-40 be cool, but I really think like 70-30.
Wow.
Yeah, I really believe Shakur is he's gonna be the heavily favorite. You're not gonna really see him, you know, in a 60-40 fight unless it's like, in my opinion, right now, unless it's like Tank Roach or like a Ryan Garcia, like a kind of like stardom type fight.
Yeah, definitely. But how does Shakur get it done? He gonna fight in the same style that he fought Zepeda, or he's gonna be safety first and box and just try to win on points?
I feel like he could do it either way, whatever way he want. But this, I feel as though the smartest way to go is establish first. Establish, come out, hold your ground a little bit, and then as the fight go on, just make it easier for yourself. Just cruise. First couple rounds, establish. Don't let him get no type of comfort, respect. We seen it kind of with Lomachenko and Tio, he came out strong early. You don't really want to give him them early rounds because for one, you never know how the judges may look at it. You never know how the judges may view you. And also, you don't want him to gain any confidence, just shut it down early and just be dominant the whole fight. I think that's how it's gonna play out, whether he play on the ropes and that's his comfortability, or more so kind of like boxing in the middle of the ring.
But he's gonna control everything, whether it's on the
Yeah.
ropes or it's in the center of the ring. That's what you mean, right?
Yep, yep.
Definitely, definitely. Well, keep Tsunami Cologne, man. We wish you the best on October 18th. I'll be in the building. I'll be
Thank
rooting
you.
for you. So, what's your final message for the fans?
October 18th, tune in. Come on, it's gonna be a great night of boxing. Shout out to Danny Garcia. Shout out to everybody that's a part of this event. It's gonna be a great night of boxing, and it's a treat for the fans.
Said you got it. Thanks a lot, champ.